Can anyone catch them, do you think?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, unbelievable. We didn't expect that.
As unbelievable as it sounds, this is another Arsenal podcast. That is the Away Gunners podcast. We bring news and reaction from Arsenal fans from all over the world. Hello, everyone. This is another bonus episode for the Away Gunners podcast. We are here to discuss on the transfer rumors, transfer market information, and like bicker on Huzim Auoar and Thomas Partey. But we've got a good bunch of people here to talk and maybe fight a little bit on. I hope there is a fight because obviously I want to get the fame of AFTV where like everyone shouts at each other and like that somehow seems to create a lot of views and like viewership on it. So let's hope for a fight here with transfers. And obviously we are going to have a talk on like, is Benzema going to join Arsenal at last? No, but like, yeah, this is going to be a transfer episode, and I've got Ellen back again with us, and I've got Rohith back with us. Also joining us today is Vasanth and Adharsh. So I'll just say hi to them and like to them first. Hi Vasanth. Hi Adharsh.
Hi
Hey man,
Vijay, nice to be here, man.
Awesome. So, yeah, welcome to the pod. I just hope it's going to be a dogfight. Come on, guys. We've been too passive on all our pods. We have been discussing stuff. So, uh, before starting on this whole pod, are we seeing a difference in our transfer now that we've got we've kind of like moved away from or at least on paper we have moved away from uh, the agent-led model of Raul Senelli and moved into what they are mentioning as data-driven transfer model. So I'll come to Vasant first. So what do you think? Like, are we seeing a change, or are we like still sticking to what was identified and working on it?
Uh, well, beforehand, when Wenger was there, he was moving away from the super agent thing, right? He doesn't believe in all those things because the super agents always hiked up the prices, so he didn't believe in all those things. But after Wenger, after Seleni came on, he gave so much of power to the super agents. So that was a big thing. But you can't move away from the thing of modern football. Like super agents are here to stay. We can't move away from them. So we have to make a deal with them. Can't be in the old age of Wenger where we can't say that we can't sign big players because we can't deal with the super agents. But that is always there, right? See, Wolves are they are very close to Mendes, right? So so they are signing very good players, ones for the future. They're investing for the future. So we can't stay away from those things. Those things is a part of modern football right now. The thing investing in future and it always comes at a cost, right? So the owners must invest in order to reap the rewards at the latest later parts. That's what my thinking is.
Okay, okay, that's interesting. Others, I want to check with you regarding this. So we have given a lot of power to Kia, and that we have got a lot of players, especially where we are talked about like being the retired home of Chelsea. But the thing is like, are we like is it something that we would like to continue, or like is it going to be different? What is your thought on that? Like,
I don't think I would not like to see this being continued because see, basically data-driven means there needs to be data, and the data that means you're missing out on sometimes you're missing out on people who are still in development. For example, the Renes Kamavinga or Monaco has this defender called Badashil, who are being tracked by Real Madrid, and they have a pretty good scouting network actually, both in terms of South America and Europe. I think at the current stage, whatever we are doing is fine because even with the scouting network that we had, we were not getting really good targets. And especially, again, I'm not sure what is the problem, either be bad quality of scouting or bad quantity of scouting. But either way, we are not getting really good people. Like, if the scouting was really good, we wouldn't be getting Elneny. I mean, the same amount that we spent, we would have actually got a pretty good player. And right now, I think through data and through network, I think, but we are getting good players. But that also means a lot of this will be confined to Europe or Brazil. For example, someone like Torreira, we are able to get. But Valverde, these people, you might not still have really good data by the time they actually show up on world class. And if you see, and it's not only an issue for us. For example, even Real Madrid, Barcelona, they are now going after these people. So during that point of time, I think, yeah, scouting, we can't do scouting right away, but as we grow, I don't think this form is sustainable.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's actually a lot more sense. But like Ellen, but if we are going with all these data driven for future, are we taking out the whole humanity part of it? Like we like on data, if we look at data, just our Gindozi looks awesome, but like we take out the whole personality part of it, right? Like if we are only going by data, so is that, and also like this is also a time of COVID where we cannot have scouts on like on the grounds, and we cannot do actual scouting. So this is kind of like a really complex scenario, right? Like for transfers, for like getting linked.
Okay, two things here. One is like COVID, I don't think has a big impact because, like, in this technology age, right, we have videos of almost each and every match nowadays. So, scouting can still be done, even though it might not be exactly the same as you watch from the ground, but you can still do the scouting. Regarding the stats, right, I beg to differ on what you said because the stats now, whatever they are seeing, right, is not only like usual stats like how many goals scored, how many clearances, or how many aerials. It is like even more evolving. Like it covers all the aspects of the game. So like you might still see you might not directly go and see like whether a person has a character, but a group of stats. Say for example, a guy like Flamini, for example, you will know when he comes to the ground there will be a yellow card definitely. And the reason for that is like it is because he gets that for the team. Because when the team goes the attack, like he gets that for the team. The first yellow card, he normally gets it. So
is he, or is he getting it for the team, or is he just like, fuck it, I just want to go ahead and like 2-foot challenge
no,
on someone?
it is like his first instinct is like to go and challenge it. Like, but he's doing it for the team. It is not like he has to win the ball like in whatever ways he can, and he'll become more careful after he gets his first yellow card. That's how he has played, and that's an example. Like I'm saying, so from the stats also, right? You can somehow able to find their character too. It might not be like the same old ways, but like the stats, whatever we are seeing, is too extensive now, and like we are still able to get those people. And some of the stats, right, like it is not about like say people who might be really bad, like with the goal scored or this thing, but the distribution stats and other stats, right, will still make them to be like brought by the team. So that is
Okay.
something that is going to continue. And like with Arsenal, if you ask, right, there is even an open statement that like the stats will be used even more going forward than what it was used before.
Yeah, we were the first team to bring in like a completely independent stat company to handle our whole stats. But like, let's jump on to the actual rumors. Let me start with our like transfer specialist Rohith. Uh, let's start with like goalkeepers. We have sold Martinez for 20 million, which is like amazing business. Like if you would have asked me like 5 months ago that like whether we would sell, or even like 3 months ago whether we would be able to sell like Martinez for like 20 million, I would have like jumped on and take that on. But like we have sold it. It's a good business. I'm not saying it's a good business, but the problem is what we are doing with that money. Are we going to reinvest that like into some of the problem areas, or are we going to use that money to get us a second choice goalkeeper? We are being linked to this guy called Runar Runarsson from Dijon, and I think that's a $2 million fee. But his stats are worse. I mean, he looks like not a good second choice keeper. And when we say second choice keeper, it means that we need him in cup games. We need him to play the odd games. We need him whenever like Leno is injured. We need someone to challenge Leno, aren't we? Like that's also a point, because what Martinez did was actually challenge Leno. But right now, if you think of Runasen as our second choice, I don't see a really good path or like something. We are being linked to David Raya from Brentford, but that means we are spending like 15 million on him because Runasen seems to be happening. Like it's not a rumor anymore, right? Like what's your take on that, Rohit?
Yeah, exactly. We are probably going to sign Ronosan, but I wanted to touch about the stats part. If we were just focusing on the stats, we wouldn't have bought this guy because his stats are horrible. But it does look like our goalkeeper coach has worked with him and he likes what he sees. So maybe we will have to trust their judgment and see how he plays in the team, and then slam this transfer. But like you said, Martinez, 20 million for Martinez is an excellent business. Mope injuring Leno now looks like a blessing in disguise because at that point, if we would have sold Martinez, and with our history of selling players, we would have got at the max 2 million. Right, and about Runarsson, I don't know if he will be a second choice immediately. I still think Matt Macy will be the second choice, but we are looking for another goalkeeper because Macy wants to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at the Raya rumors, it does look like Runarsson will be a third choice.
But
So,
they also
that's
say,
not bad.
but they also say that Brentford want, even if we sign Raya, Brentford want him to be loaned back, which completely defeats the purpose. And like spending 15 million.
Again, it makes sense from what I said because we are still going to have Messi for this season. So Messi will be the second choice. We can still buy Raya this season or the next. We loan him back or don't buy him at all, buy him for the next season and keep him as second choice for the next season. Right now, I don't think Arteta had a plan to buy a backup goalkeeper even before when Martinez wasn't considered good enough. So the basic point of this transfer is to invest this money in the other areas like midfield, for example. So I don't I don't have a problem with this transfer, either Raya or Renarson. The most important thing for us is to invest in the midfield.
But is it going to be either Raya or Runarsson, or is it going to be like both Raya and Runarsson?
I think it is going to be both because Runarsson is almost done. We don't have to look for another goalkeeper when Runarsson is done, and it's not like we are telling the John that we are looking for another goalkeeper so that they can sell to us on cheap. We are not doing that. We are buying Runarsson. So us going for Raya is like more of him being second choice in Arteta's plans. So, and that's a good thing because we are looking into the future and we're not like panic buying like we used to do in the past. For example, Adarsh mentioned about El Neni. El Neni was a panic buy. He was bought in January. And for 5 million, he isn't that bad. But yeah, there wasn't a need to buy someone in January if we had planned ahead.
Okay.
And so I wanted to touch on the midfield options, which I know will be the topic of discussion today, the main topic of discussion.
We would come back to that. Like we'll come back to the midfield because we have a lot more to talk on midfield, like because of a lot more reasons, like and nothing short of the last game. But Adarsh, I just want to check with you regarding this goalkeeper problem. Like, if we are going to like what Rohith is saying, we are signed Runarsson, and if we don't want to go for Raya because he's like 15 million, then like with Runarsson and Raya we are basically spending the money that we earned from Martinez sale on two goalkeepers, right?
Uh,
Like almost like 17 million.
I mean, not a happy situation to be, but considering this transfer season and how they got most of the like not that we got all the targets that we wanted, but whoever targets have come for us, they have been pretty good. So I think on this goalkeeper situation, I would actually trust on the board of knowing what they're doing, because like we were able to get Emi Martinez for 20 million, and that was a fine, good price. And if they're investing most of that money into a new goalkeeper, I at this point I'm just trusting the board that they know what they're doing. Uh, I mean, it's a pretty, as you said, a pretty weird situation that we are currently in, because you get 20 million, and that could be used to actually strengthen our midfield, which really needs strengthening. And obviously the winger position. I mean, I know we do have a couple of backups, but still our attack and midfield can be strengthened. But if they're spending, I think they know what they're doing. And again, there's also this matter of not really finding good goalkeepers. Leno is 28, and not finding really good goalkeepers who are ready to be backup, and not even finding a good goalkeeper itself is difficult. And if you want references, you can ask Lampard for his primary goalkeeper. Uh,
You got to bring
yeah,
in Kepa into the discussion, don't you? Like, yeah.
I mean, yeah. No, so at this point, I think I'm just gonna trust the Arsenal board, hoping that they know what they're doing, and especially because seeing the ages of both of these people, I think they know that they are gonna buy them for the long run, uh, and just gonna hope these decisions are right.
Okay. Let's hope that. But a quick jump to Lakshmi on Ellen on the whole goalkeeper situation. Yes, go ahead, Ellen.
Yeah, I just want to highlight City here. Like, City, they have physically like two 11s. Like, they have like two strong 11s. But even if you see them, right, they have the second goalie as Bravo, who is not that good. Ederson is class apart, but the second goalie is bad, even to a team like City. That's the reality, because like the second goalie will not play at all most of the time unless it's a cup game, like or like if some teams are having a strategy, they might play in the European games also, but like mostly they won't get a chance. So nobody who's good will be ready to play second fiddle. So we'll definitely have like a weaker goalkeeper only. But like with Messi, right, Matt Messi, like we have a good goalie as a second goalie, but he's in the last year of contract, and that is why we need a goalie, backup goalie. But that is not an urgent, because since he's in the last year, we can get the goalie next year also. So financially, right, like it's not much use like you are wasting that 20 million whatever we got for another goalie.
Oh, okay, but the problem I see, Vasant, in the whole topic of this, like comparing to Chelsea or like, I mean, yeah, Chelsea, yeah, I may not make that point, but if we compare it to like Liverpool or Man City, their defense is really good. Like ours is not. We need a good second goalie because if Leno gets injured, we are in deep trouble. Like we don't have a defense that can cope what like Man City can cope with or Liverpool can cope with. So, like, just your like last thoughts on the whole goalkeeper situation. Like, do you see us going for a second goalie, or you don't want us to go for a second choice goalie, or like is Runarsson going to be the second choice?
If given a choice, I wouldn't have wanted a second goalkeeper right now at the situation, to be honest, because the problem needs to be fixed is the midfield. If the board feels that they have the money to reinvest in the midfield, in addition, and we get a goalkeeper also, it will be very good business for us. But if they're not going to be investing in the midfield and instead they're going to be opting for a good second goalkeeper, I don't think that will be a good transfer of business to be done here. And also the thing between the two goalkeepers that was a big comparison between going between Leno and Martinez. As per stats, when you look at the thing, the goalkeeping saving percentage when it compared to Leno and the Martinez, Martinez is actually 30% better compared to Leno. And also when you're going to compare about the pass completion as well as the cross-stopping ability, Martinez is definitely higher. These are the three things that usually weigh up in a goalkeeper stats, right? So in all the three things, Leno drags behind. But the thing is, Leno was the one who kept us in the game for so many games, right? Uh, where our defenders used to be shambles. Right? Our defense used to be at the worst. So he was the thing. And one more thing is, ME used to be a lot more emotional type than Leno. Leno, you can say it as a cool head, right? Like Dhoni type. But Martinez is an emotional type. But what I like about Martinez is his ability to stop the cross, and he's being dominant in the air. We conceded so many goals by that time, and whenever Martinez was in charge, I felt that we were in control of the game. Like even when we are trying to prevent the goal coming on like 1-0 or 2-0, and the people are storming. I can remember the Liverpool game when they used to give crosses and the crosses and the crosses. We were just holding that one goal advantage, right? So that cross-stopping ability is definitely higher in Emi Martinez. But right now, I think the smart thing that the board did is buy two tall center backs. I think that was the thing. That was a very good move to save Leno's efficiency in that department, because we got Saliba as well as Gabriel, and both are very tall. So I think that was a very smart move. But given a choice again, I wouldn't be going to a second goalkeeper, and instead hope and pray that Leno doesn't get injured and we get Partey as well as Auoar, right?
Okay. Yeah, that I mean, our prayers are like Arsenal fans' prayers are not answered a lot. So
That's for sure.
that's not something that we would be like hoping. I mean, we would be hoping, but we don't know when if our prayers would be answered. I hope so, but I don't know. But yeah, let's go into like the actual problematic position right now, which is the midfielder. As like everyone has mentioned, everyone has talked about in everywhere, like Arsenal needs midfield because our engine is not working. Like we have seen it in past, like the last season, we have seen it like last game. So there's plenty of evidence that we need midfield. Uh, but that also puts us in a position where like people know that we need midfielders, and when we go in, we are gonna face this situation where what we are facing. So before I jump into the or party or both debate that's going to happen for sure, um, do you see as having trouble to sign because we are not going, like we are not able to offload the players that we want to offload uh, before we can sign? And is that like putting us on like a break? Like we are not able to sign someone new because we have too many people. Is that the problem? Like others, do you think that is the problem that we are facing? Why we are not like making those moves?
Um, Not just that. I think the multiple factors, especially this year, you have Corona, which actually decreased a lot of TV rights and stuff, and also um, our own owners who are not willing to, either not willing to invest or don't want or don't plan to invest. And besides that, yeah, one of the reasons what you said is true, but also you need to consider a player who thinks he can perform at a higher level. They know that once you turn 25, you have like around 5 to 7 years at the maximum that at a elite level that you can be, and they actually want to keep winning these titles or trophies. And that's one of the reasons why a player like Isco, who was linked to Arsenal for long, he didn't want to leave Real Madrid because like he knows at Real Madrid you got to win a trophy every year, and as soon as someone is not winning a trophy, as managers or someone is being sacked. So similar, and the same was with Benzema. I think these players, once they are at a higher level, uh, they really need a motivation to come to different clubs. And with Arteta, I actually believe that we are on the right path to move ahead. But still, it's still a long path away. For example, Manchester United, they have a fine history, but still, like if you see right now, the players. Mm, of course, they do say, I always dreamt of Manchester United on the signing day, but they are not exactly going over there. Like they are going for the either uh, they are actually going either for the fees or the salary.
Because
So
Manchester United has Ole. Ole is meh. No,
no, I don't think it was just Ole. Either be it under Mourinho also, the players, you had to actually shell out a lot more money for the players to come there, and a lot of convincing was required. Uh, Similarly for Arsenal, like uh, I mean, not to say anything negative, but we are currently not at the position that we can attract players. I mean, no offense, like Liverpool wasn't in, even Liverpool wasn't in that position right as they signed the club. It took them at least 2-3 years. They weren't even in that position when they lost the Europa League the first time. So I think it's a fine path that we are in. But at this point, it takes a lot more effort. Either you buy them young so that they can, we provide them the platform to showcase themselves to the world, like how Martinelli, Saka, these players can actually use our platform, like they can actually show themselves to the world, and we grow along with them. Buying an already existing players, I think it is still something we are at least a couple of years, not couple of years, few trophies away.
okay.
And by that time, I think it will players will have a lot more motivation than right now.
But I want to hold you there to ask you one more like question, like because we have been linked to Thomas Partey, and I know that you follow La Liga closely. So is he worth the 50 million that they have been talking about? Because for me, like 50 million is for like really top player. Because if you look at Liverpool, they've got Thiago for like 20 million. And
Uh,
like yeah, go ahead.
Personally, I would definitely say yes, and because like you take up our crop of current midfielders. You have Shaka, Ceballos. Let's leave out Ozil. He's slightly probably busy playing around. But we have Shaka, Saka, and Willock and Ceballos. And
El
of
Nene.
these, oh yeah, Lenny, yeah, right. Of these, you actually don't find a lot of like if you had to say someone of world class, you actually could only point out Xhaka. But even then, while Xhaka has been world class, I consider him world class, but he's inconsistent. On each day, he's world class. But whereas Partey is slightly different. He provides you the quality along with that consistency. And if you and one of he's also when you consider how he plays, he can be versatile. He can either be a draw. He's mostly number 6, but he can play as your number 8. Whereas the players right now, or the starters that we have right now, Xhaka and Ceballos, they both of them are they play. You can't consider exactly them as number 6, but more like number 8. And the double pivot that we are doing actually suited for both of them, basically to maximize the crop of the players that we have instead of actually prefer. I actually think the 3 and the double pivot that we are playing right now, I think it is tuned to maximize this crop of players that we have, rather than the formation that Arteta wants. With Partey coming in, we Ceballos can actually is someone who can actually move forward. He can even play as a classic number 10, and for not only for Real Madrid, even for his during his Spanish days, national team days, he actually played there. So he provides you that flexibility that Xhaka can still play what he's playing, whereas Partey can actually oscillate between going number 6 and number 8. Actually giving more freedom to Ceballos if he needed, or we can actually bring in Willock. It will actually give a more stable environment for the younger crop of players or more attack-minded players to actually come and flourish. And in terms of his performance, you can see it, be it the stats or the actual reports, that he has been consistent for Atletico Madrid. And this is actually really important because if you see Atletico Madrid last year, they were actually going through a transition. And one of the important players and consistent players like last year who put in a lot of effort and was good for Simeone was Partey. So yeah, I actually personally I do believe he's worth that money, and I in fact I actually believe that's slightly cheaper.
So yeah, so we heard from Adarsh that he's strongly on the Partey camp. So let me move on to someone from the our camp, Rohit. So your views on Husim or like how much 40 million is he worth it? Like, and are we like in a position to sign him?
I'm actually not on the Aura camp. I
Oh,
am on the fence. I'm on the fence
twist.
on this. The thing is, Aura is more creative, but we do need Partey's presence in midfield as well. Uh, one one thing that people get it wrong about Partey is he's not just a strong enforcer like Torreira. He's excellent in passing. He's almost like Thiago in the sense because among the players who have attempted more than 50 dribbles, I think Partey, Kovacic, and Thiago are the ones who have the highest percentage. So he is not just a midfield engine, and he will not just get you tackles and interceptions alone. He's a very good passer as well.
But
So
but but like if you look at his stats from last year, he's having like 3 goals and 4 assists in his 32
yeah,
La
yeah.
Liga games, which is
If
not.
if you see Thiago stats, it will be almost the same. But there is some kind
Yeah,
of
but that is
impression. There is some
Liverpool.
kind of no.
That is
What
Liverpool.
I'm
You
saying
have
is,
you have like you don't need Thiago to provide be the provider
right.
there.
No, I'm not saying I'm not going to the party camp. I'm just saying that around Thiago we have air of like we think that he is very creative. He actually isn't, but I think that is something to do with him being white and not black. We tend generally tend to agree that black players are like strong and
More physical.
that yeah,
Racism,
that is
racism,
racist. Yeah, that is
racism.
wrong. That is a racist over there, and that is wrong. And as far as assigning our and Partey, the problem with that is we have plenty of non-homegrown players. I think currently we have 18 non-homegrown players, whereas the limit is 70. And if we add Runnerson into it, it becomes 90. So, which means if we have to sign both Partey and Auoar, we need to release four of our existing players, which is not possible because only three of them are the I think Socrates, Torreira, and who's the other one? Who's the other one? There is one more
Kolasinac.
player. Kolasinac. Okay. How can I forget him? So those three are the only ones who are rumored to leave. So in that case, either we are going to sign only one of our party, or we cannot register Runnerson and have Matt Macy, who is a homegrown player. So those are our options. And as far as I will explain why I am on the fence on the our party transfer. Thing is, yes, R is more creative. He offers us he's more like Santi. He can dribble his way out of tough positions, and he'll be very useful. The only problem I have with that transfer is that I don't know if he will adapt to the Premier League. Whereas with Partey, I'm pretty sure he will instantly fit into our team. He is that kind of player. And one more thing is that the our deal is easier than the Partey deal because Partey's deal is a release clause. Ours we can pay in installments. The only problem is we have to deal with Olas, who is a very tough negotiator. And you mentioned about us getting these players will be difficult because every other club know that we need midfielders. I don't think that's the case because these two have a set price. Olas, he won't come down on the price, and it's not 40 million. We have to pay 60 million euros for our, and for Partey it is 45 million pounds, and that is a release cost. So you have to pay it in full. So that is the problem, and we will have to. I think Arteta he has mentioned in his press conference that he needs 2 midfielders. So hopefully it is these 2. And like I said, we don't register runners in because that is the only way we are going to get both of them. But if we get both of them, and it's a big if. Yeah, sorry.
Rohit,
Alan,
just
go
to
ahead.
add one point to you, like we can also do it in other way. We can get both of them, and like say for example, a player like Ozil, you can just register him for Europa Liga, not Premier League.
Yeah, I know it is
You can do
possible.
that
I
way
mean,
also.
we have many
Yes,
cases, but I don't think we will do. We won't, deregister Ozil from the Premier League. We won't do that. I know the
No, I'm just
possibilities
giving
are
an
there. It
example.
is endless.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it makes sense for us to deregister someone like Runarsson for this season than doing Ozil.
Yes,
Okay.
and like say if anything happens in January, also we can re-register somebody or like do something
Exactly.
different also. So that is always there. And
Yeah,
just to
the bad
add
thing about sorry, Alan. The bad thing about
go ahead.
Emmy leaving was that he was a homegrown player, and now we are getting in a non-homegrown goalkeeper. So that was a bad thing for us because now we are, previously we didn't even have to look at this non-homegrown and homegrown players because we had plenty of homegrown talent. But now it has come to a position where we will have to sell many of our players to get these reported targets in. One good thing though is that we know who our targets are and it is set. I don't think we even have a backup option, and so
that is a question that I need to ask you. Do we what if this doesn't work out? Do we have a backup option? Do we have someone do you see someone else say what's that Barca kid the one that Koeman has said that he yeah. So do we see someone like him coming in because we are not able to get some target, or do we see someone else from some other league coming in because we will not be able to hit our targets? Ellen, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll answer this. Like say recently we had a discussion about Auba. Like say if he hasn't signed a contract and you are selling him to any of the rivals, say Barca or anybody, and everybody will be ready to pay huge money for him. Can you get another striker with this caliber in the market? Whatever amount you are ready to pay, you don't have anybody. Similar way, like the backup options, right, will be just one another midfielder. They are not going to change the team from this level to the next level. So we don't have plan B. See, we might think of some players if this happens, we'll get them to make our squad a lot more better. But whether we'll scale up to a different level in the league, we won't if we don't sign these players. And I also add one other option, when Rohit said about Thiago comparison, right? And you said we are not Liverpool. Please, don't think Liverpool is a big team, or a team with a lot of good players just because they have won the clubs. Because they are working under.
We finished.
No, I'll say. When Klopp came in the very first season, they were also bad. It took some years for Klopp also to develop the team. If you take the front three, right, after Auba come in, I think Auba and Salah are almost neck and neck with respect to goals. And Lacazette plays the exact role for Minados, and he does it even better. If you take, only thing is Mane is far better than say Pepe or Willian, but Pepe has just started last year we got him, and say down the year he's going to be lot more better. And if you take Willian as the backup to this front three, right, we have a very good backup compared to Liverpool, because Liverpool doesn't have any backup for this three. That is why they have got Jota now, who can play anywhere in the replacing any of the three, and he can play there. Until that has happened, right, they didn't have anybody as backup. So actually, Liverpool was just one injury away from losing everything. Luckily, they were able to survive, and that was also because of Klopp's managerial record and his ability to make that team look stronger. And that is what exactly the situation is. And we are just starting, and so see, if we can get a player like Thiago, right, the exact same stats, our team will go leaps and places. And definitely we have an option to sign both, and we definitely need both of them, because we need stability at the back, and we also need a creative midfielder.
But let me put you on spot. If you can sign only one player of the two, because our owners are not going to help. We are not going to get money from anywhere else apart from sales. And from what Rohit says, if we are going to spend 60 mil on Auoar, and we need a 50 mil on Partey, that's a lot of money. and we have already signed something. So if you can sign only one person after all the sales, Auoar or Partey, who do you
Partey.
sign?
The reason is
Okay.
like, see,
Team
we
Partey.
need a creative midfielder, but the thing here is like Partey can like do multiple roles, and like we need that kind of. See, you just saw what Sabelles is able to do. Like, say, we can ask Sabelles or even Emily Smith Rowe to, or even Willian for that matter. Once Pepe starts playing in the, like, once he start going to a back four and Pepe on one side, Willian can play the number 10 role also. We at least have backups at other places. But like what Partey brings in, we don't have any other player who can do that role.
But all this is a contrast that we are going to have a double pivot, Vasanth. But like, do you see, like, what if we switch to something like what Manchester City does? Have one sitting midfielder and then like two up ahead of him. Would that mean like we have the sitting midfielder as Xhaka and then like go for Auoar? In short, like, are you going to be team Auoar or team Partey?
We already had this discussion in our WhatsApp group, right? I still stick by what I said. I would, if there is only one signing that has to be done, I would stick by Partey because we have never replaced Vieira, right? That is the thing. I agree with what Rohith has said. Whenever they compare a non-white player, they just compare them to be a physical engine or something like that, right? But Partey is not just interception king or a physical machine, right? He actually ticks the boxes as an top dribbler also, and he also makes a lot of passes into the final third, right? So he tops all this, and also shots created, actions per 90 is top compared to Xhaka, and disposition rate is also less compared to Xhaka. So in all these attributes, is much better than Xhaka. Xhaka is actually not a central defensive midfielder as was originally intended place to be signed off, right? We all thought that okay, he's going to fit into a good central defensive midfielder, but he's not good. He doesn't operate as a single solo part in the midfield, right? He wants a partner in that area, right? And so if we get Partey, Partey would also dribble in the tight spaces, and he could also make the final ball progression better compared to Xhaka. And it also frees up Xhaka to an extent that he could go a little bit forward and play his game. That's why I always believe that Partey is better. But when you think about Auoar is very good in the half spaces, and his dribbling is very good compared to that. And he also made a part in the final Champions League Team of the Year. That's a big achievement to be made. But I don't think we can take a chance with that fee to be paid on RR, and when you can get Partey at a comparably rest price, right? So I've been team Partey.
But wasn't Partey is the more difficult deal to be done, because we don't have the cash in hand right now. If we are spending 60 million on Auoar, it will be like max 20 million this season, right? Okay. But Partey, we need to we need to get 50 million. We need to pay it right now, and that will affect our finances, and our board will obviously think in that way. So
maybe we should start a GoFundMe like Manchester United started.
We shouldn't drop to their level.
but my question here is like Adharsh, you can weigh in here, because the thing is like there has been talks that Simeone wants Torreira. So could we do like a deal of like swap instead of going for the whole paying the release clause? Because like everyone said, it's a tough deal. We have to pay right up front, which is not what we are used to. Like we even are still paying Pepe's money. If Simeone is interested in Torreira, could we kind of like make him as a make weight in the deal? Like, is that any true in the first place? Like where the reports say Simeone is interested in Torreira, and why would they be interested in Torreira?
Why? I mean, if you are like even like Torreira has been kind of fallen off the ladder at Arsenal. We are kind of late, but at the start and at the World Cup, we did see the kind of player he is. But in terms of defensive output and the passion he has, and he's like if you actually if you actually ask me if he does fit in the Simeone team, he definitely fits very well in the Simeone team, and you could say he would be he would really flourish under Simeone. He's like a okay, if you take Hakimi, he actually chose Inter Milan, especially under Conte, because he would actually flourish under there, because of the use of wing backs for Conte, and that's how Hakimi went. And similarly, Torreira would be a really good fit for Simeone because both the playing style, and he actually comes from in nearby place. So I would assume in terms of motivation, it would be a nice place for him to flourish. And in terms of Partey, see, most of the teams that we actually face or we see, you actually have a solid base in terms of defensive output, be it PSG with Variety or Real Madrid with Casemiro, and especially with Real Madrid, if you see some player, sometimes Cruz is rested, Modric is rested, Valverde is rested, all of this. But you very rarely see Casemiro being rested. Like he needs to be there. Zira, like the first name on in the current Real Madrid squad would be Casemiro, because in terms of both in terms of defensive and offensive transitions, he actually helps a lot, and that works. But Partey is not a like-to-like player for essence for Casemiro, but more like a variety, and that massively helps for us in terms of freeing up formation flexibility. Like right now, to maximize our current squad, the double pivot is the maximum. Whereas with Partey coming in, it can take up different formation because he himself is someone who is versatile, and then we have Ceballos, who is also versatile, but he is more versatile on the part of on the offensive part. So he actually helps both providing a really stable uh, uh, stability before defense, and also in terms of how we form for different formations and for different teams. And yeah, I think if the deal does happen, it's a really win-win situation for both the teams, because in Torreira, Atletico Madrid get one of the really good midfielder who is really good both in terms of through technically and his output.
Okay, but like if say for example we would not be able to get Partey, right? Is there
Yeah.
any other player that like we would be like someone from Spanish league that would kind of like give us that, like whom we could get similar output? Because like there is also like my concern is Partey is 27. He has maybe like 3 years 3 years
Uh,
where he would be good. Like like that's my one of the reasons why like I consider Hosem or to be a better option, because he's 22, 23. And like with Ceballos 24, we have got like Villa 23. We have got like a lot of 24, 23-year-old, which means we could develop for like a longer term. But with like if we get like say Partey, it's going to be 3 years, and after 3 years we are going to be looking for another like midfielder. So
wouldn't that be a actual justification for getting Partey right now, or rather than getting him later? I mean, mm, you could get Partey right now and actually groom. So we actually don't have a lot of good number six or defensive midfielders coming up through academy, and generally that. Not just the trend, but it has been common that the defensive midfielders or people with slightly more defensive responsibilities actually come off their age at the age of 26, 27. So even if you have someone really good from our academy coming up, it takes a lot of time for them to actually flourish. And Partey actually is someone who has been consistent, good, and someone with experience at or European level. That gives us a player who, and they actually start off at 27, and generally defensive midfielders kind of age slightly differently. Not age, but uh, they are good until at least 32 as such. So if we get Partey right now, it will actually give the new crop of midfielders or younger midfielders actually a nice base to play on with the what do you say with the security or with the safety that there is this person who is taking care of the defensive responsibility a lot. But and I mean, if you actually see one of the blogs from Marcelo, you actually understand a similar significance when he actually says that with Casemiro at the at the taking up the defensive responsibilities, he is a lot more sure to go forward because he knows there is this person who can take care of the defensive responsibilities, and he can go forward and he'll give him time to track back. And Partey, at the very least, assuming he doesn't provide us the versatility or the such, but even as a CDM, he would provide us that level of stability. He'll give the other midfielders and especially the younger midfielders to go forward, attack, and without fear. Because generally you see a lot of different younger midfielders. Once they're caught, they have this issue in terms of mentality that they don't tend to. I mean, to be fair, I think Gundoi is one of the few midfielders I have seen who has that really good mentality. I mean, all the discipline issues aside, but he has a pretty good mentality in the terms that even though he's been found, even though he has just made a mistake in similar then he still attempts to get it right again. But it's not that every young midfielder is as such. So Partey gives this young midfielder that a safe environment wherein they can actually move forward, attack without the fear of or without the retribution that to come back.
Okay, so we've
And
got
Vijay,
yeah.
yeah,
Go
it
ahead.
does look like there are legs to the Torreira to Atletico rumors, because Torino's sporting director has mentioned that Torreira is not a priority for them, which means it almost looks like they've given up. So there must be legs to the rumors, interest in Atletico Madrid. So that is good news for us.
If we can do it as a make weight, yeah, it's good for us. But if Atletico are saying like it's
I
going
don't
to be
think
like,
I don't think they will. It has to be a separate. They will treat it as two separate deals. They won't, include Torreira in a makeshift deal, because it usually doesn't happen, and it is good for the, it's good for both clubs' finances as well. We saw that in the Arthur Yannick transfer. It was not actually a swap. It was done on a separate basis so that they can show more profit for this year. And Atletico would, I think, they would like to keep Partey unless the release clause is met. I think they've understood that Arsenal will meet the release clause, and maybe that is why they're looking at Torreira.
okay,
Just to add here, Vijay, that see, whether we do with Torreira or not, that's a different thing. Torreira, we might sell it to somebody else also. But why do Atletico Madrid need Torreira now? It means Partey is going to go. Because if with Partey there, right, they don't need Torreira as like an additional player there. So there are high chances that Partey is going to go, and that's why they are looking for alternate options.
Ellen, one thing. Do you think Torreira is a like-for-like replacement for Partey? I don't think so.
No, he's not like for like, but like, why do Atletico Madrid need such a kind of player when they already have Partey?
The problem is, Vasanth, there aren't many players like Partey, so they can't get a like-to-like replacement. It is not easy. So maybe Simeone has thought that Torreira will replace Partey. I mean, not just in the positional sense, but overall gameplay they will have to change, because they are not similar players.
okay, just a minute, guys.
And
We have got
also this issue of
okay, sorry, just to hold you guys for a minute. We have got Arun joined with us like just now. So I'll just I'll just get his points because everyone Arun here is on the page that like it's everyone wants Partey. Everyone wants Partey. I mean, if we get OR, they're fine. But like the priority is Partey. I'm the only one who is saying like maybe it's a line there. Like I would still see OR as a better person in our team than Partey. So where do you stand on that? Like quick notes.
Okay, quick notes. I'm actually having an option C. That's why I came back into the podcast. I actually wanted you guys to ask you guys about something else. Are we going too much behind just Auoar and Partey? We don't seem to be having any alternatives for those two guys. And we've seen over the last like 15, 20 years how some player is almost close to joining Arsenal. Almost
Benzema.
close to joining Arsenal.
Benzema. Benzema.
Exactly.
He called us clowns.
Exactly. So that's my question. Are we going too much behind just Partey and Auoar? What are the other options? Because I feel one or both might not happen, given how we deal with money. Like Auoar's being valued at like 60 million, we're bidding 36. So there's a huge gap in the valuation. They don't want Guendouzi. Atletico don't want Torreira as a part of the swap. Though we will get money, it's not going to be a part of that. So do you guys think we're just putting all our eggs in one basket and not thinking about someone else? That's my option C. Option C. That's my question for you guys.
No, that's actually like I actually had that discussed where we were like we were like this is what we want. If we are getting anything else, the whole point is like we would not get as good as any like these two options. And if we are not going to get as good options as this, then that option is not going to take us to where we want to go.
Okay, in that case, I would say we need Auoar more than Partey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fight.
I was in the Partey camp till like maybe till the start of the season, but I feel the creativity that we lack. Out of the 19 teams that we'll be playing, I think there'll be like 5 or 6 that would let us have an open game. The remaining 12 to 13 are going to be stubborn teams that care about a point when they come to the Emirates. And when we go there, they're going to make sure that they're going to beat the shit out of us. So with these teams like Crystal Palace, West Ham, even Brighton, like they won 3-0 today, but even Brighton, you're going to need someone who can unlock the defenses. These teams are not playing for 3 points. We're playing for 3 points. There's a huge difference. If you're playing for 3 points, you need someone who can get you those 3 points. And with the team that we have, and even with the addition of Partey, we play a midfield of Xhaka, Partey, and Elneny. Come on, that's not going to give you any goals. These three are not going to unlock anything. Instead, we'll be running around in circles, passing just ball through the midfield. So I definitely feel for getting the bulk of the points that we need to get from the bottom half teams, we're definitely going to need someone like Auoar more than Partey.
Okay, so we'll just wrap that up. So we have got like Partey camp solidly putting points about like how he
Vijay,
is.
just one thing.
Go ahead, Vasanth.
I just wanted to add why Willian was added into that because I just read about Willian being added to attacking midfield. That's the position he played. So when you want goals from there, when you want to unlock the teams, that's one of the things that Willian was signed for. So if you are going to get Auoar again, and Willian also is there, and already Saka has lost his place, right? So there is a fight for him, and you have to please Saka also. You have to keep playing him, and now he's being played at the left wing back position, and he struggled at that time. So now you are going to get Auoar also in the mix. I know Auoar plays in the midfield, progressive midfield position compared to thing. But again, we are buying so many players, and it's going to be mixing and matching, and we are going to be pleasing players, pleasing our wonder boys, right? And so what happens is it's going to be creating a lot of rowlets, like how Pep used to do it. The student also will start doing these rowlets because I felt Saka at left wing back, he played good, right? His first touches, he really struggled at the start of the game, right? So it is again going to be creating a lot of problems, a lot of complications. Whereas Partey just will slot in our midfield because there is a deficiency in the midfield in that specific spot. So he'll be better fit, in my opinion.
Okay, hopefully we'll sign both and then we'll get some more and we are gonna boss the whole season. But like let's quickly jump on to like the outs that we are expecting, right? Like let's do it like these are the players I want to be out no matter what. Like and then like someone whom I want to be like paid this much, right? Like for example, Torreira 20 million, or like, so what would be the odds? I'm seeing Torreira, Kolasinac, Socrates, Chambers. If we can offload, say, Guendouzi or Ozil, that'll be a plus, but I don't see that happening. So are these the only targets that we are looking to be out of the doors? Let me start with Arun on that.
Yeah. So first of all, do you want to know the people I want out of the team, or do you want to know the people whom I think will be out of the team?
Just give us like a quick both.
Okay, the players I want out of the team. I'll start with Kolasinac, Socrates, Mustafi, Chambers. Who else is there? Yeah, Chambers, Torreira, Guendouzi.
Ozil.
Ozil. Yeah, unfortunately, Ozil. I'm a huge Ozil fan, but he's not. When you think about Ozil and the team takes precedence. Yeah, I'll definitely want to get rid of Ozil. But
he's training with the under 23s. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Even there, he probably on the bench or like that's okay. So, but like the players I think would leave are Socrates. It looks very increasingly likely that we are going to be canceling his contract. We won't getting anything out of it, but we'll only probably be saving on the wages. That's pretty good as well.
We've already done that with Mickey. I don't know why we keep doing that, but yeah, that's the way it is.
No, but that's better. Instead of playing this guy who absolutely does horse shit every week, like we were paying him 130 pounds or something, we'll be saving that money. No, that'll be a huge win. We can even give that to Auoar. He's 22. I don't think he's going to look for 200. So that would be one. Socrates is going to go. Recent news, like I saw, was Chambers is being targeted by Newcastle. Would be a good deal if he leaves. Kolasinac, please get the fuck out of the club. And Torreira will. I think he will leave either Spain or Italy, but I don't see Guendouzi leaving. No.
Okay, so now
I don't see Ozil leaving. So I think we'll have to go with Guendouzi and Ozil. I don't see both of them leaving.
Okay. So jumping on to Vasanth. So yeah, anyone else? Amen. Do you see him leaving?
I don't want Amen to go. I just love the kid. I just don't want Amen to go because he was very good one-on-one. He had Salah in his pocket, man. What more you want from this guy? I don't know.
Salah and Mahrez,
he was everywhere. And those runs he made to take the players out of Auoar, those he keeps doing that again and again, right? And he has his good positional sense. He's been played everywhere and he adjusted everywhere, right? He should have started at the left wing back. If you ever asked me, I would have done that. He will definitely be there in our next game. In the left wing back, but you can't sell that guy because if we have sold to Wolves, the Wolves would have just lapped him and then they would have put him straight into the land and they would have come, then they would have just laughed at us, right? So I don't think that, but I don't think anyone wants Guendouzi. That's the main problem. This attitude is a problem, and that's why we made a tweet about that Arteta made a conference, right? He said everyone starts with a clean slate, and that includes Guendouzi also. To increase his value probably, but I don't think anyone wants Guendouzi.
Okay, so Adharsh, quick points on that. Like, who do you see out apart from these people? Do you see anyone else going out?
I would want Lacazette out because it is just too crowded. And see, personally, I actually don't see the value of Lacazette in our attack. And especially with Nikita Eddy coming up, I really don't see Lacazette. And a lot of times he does put pressure, yes, good. But I also see a lot of times his positioning is really bad, especially for some of the attacks that we make. His positioning has a lot of times been bad in terms of conversion. That is one whom I would want, and I would actually want Torreira to leave, but not because I don't like him, but I actually like him. So I really like what he does and how he plays. So, but I don't, since he's not in Arteta's plans, I actually would want to see him flourish elsewhere because it's if he's not being in plans here, I would at least want him to be playing continuously and good somewhere else. But besides that, and Amen, I actually want him. Like he has been phenomenal in terms of how he adapted to multiple roles and his improvement. amongst all the crop of the most younger players coming from academy, I think I'm most impressed by him. Behind his ethic to work ethic and how he actually adapted to different roles and has been really good in each of these matches. He was actually relentless in terms of the output he has been putting up. And of Ozil, sadly Ozil, I really love Ozil, but I actually just want him out so that we can actually pay someone else, or we at least free up the wages. That's really sad for me to say that I want Ozil to leave, but it is what it is. In fact, I actually don't want Kola to leave because we really don't have any backups in terms of that department. Besides, like I know Yemen is there, but he's not a full-fledged left back. Like if Yemen is there, we have to actually play him as a wing back rather than as a left back. So I would actually not let Kola leave unless we actually have a good backup for him. Backup for Tierney.
So Ellen, let me get back to you on this one, right? Like Adarsh has put up like a lot of controversial points there, like
Yes.
Lacazette and like selling Lacazette and like holding on to Kolasinac. I can see Arun smiling when the name Kolasinac drops there. But like yeah, I'll let you go first on Lacazette. Do you want him to be sold?
As I said, like in one of our podcasts, initially I was on that list, but that was mainly because he can get you around 40 million, with which we can get a good midfielder for that reason alone. But like as I said, like after some deep thought, like I will not sell Lacazette, and I'm going to use the same exact point which others used for retaining Kola to retain Lacazette. See, you have Lacazette and Nikita like the two strikers for us. If Nikita gets injured, who is your striker? Don't say Auba is our striker because his returns when he starts as a central striker is very less, and he wants to play on the left wing, so he won't be a striker for us. And Martinelli is like injured for the until December, so you don't have a backup if Nikita gets injured. And another thing with Nikita starting is like he's not like say a Firmino or a Lacazette kind of player. He's more like a plan B, like where he pass the ball and he goes and scores the goal. That's the exact reason why Bisla didn't start Nketiah much in Leeds also, because they play total football there also, and he preferred Bamford more than Nketiah because Nketiah was not able to do that role better. So for both these reasons, right, like we need Lacazette a lot. And the Lacazette-Auba connection, whatever we have, right, like is again like something that cannot be got from any other player. The only time like where I can sell Lacazette is like if he's going to get us 40 million immediately, with which we are going to get both these midfielders. Then like we can think of like any other formation or like something different, or like some other player playing a striker, even Billion, for example. And we'll try to think of something like that. But other than that, like I will not sell Lacazette. And Kolasinac, right? Like I feel even Bola from our academy will do much better job than Kolasinac. Like see, Kolasinac might become a luxury. Let me say, like say we might play a back four very soon. Like that's what my thing say. Couple of months down the line, or even if you're continuing with back three with Luis Mustafi all back from injury, we will not even need Tierney in centre back position. We will be playing Tierney in wing back only. And if it is going to be wing back, right, like even Saka or Maitland-Niles can do a better job than Kolasinac.
Okay, that's pretty harsh on Kolasinac, but I also think that Arun could go a lot more hard on that. So I'm gonna put that to Arun. Like, Arun, do you see as retaining Kolasinac? And what's your thoughts on that?
Ideally, in an ideal world, if I could get my way, Kolasinac should not be nowhere near London. But sad, it doesn't happen to be, right? So yeah, I think we'll try and push Kolasinac out as much as possible, more than any other player, more than Lacazette. Like I said earlier, Socrates' contract is terminated, so he doesn't fall in the same category. But out of the players that we'll try to push, we'll actively try to push Kolasinac out. Yeah, the same thing with like either Chambers or Holding. Seems like Holding stands, so mostly Chambers. But do I want Kolasinac in the team? No. Does he add anything to the team? No. Does he make our play better? No. Does he make our play worse? Yes. So do I really need that guy? No. So no, that's not someone we need in the team. And as for Lacazette, I wouldn't sell him. I wouldn't sell him. So there's no way that Lacazette is leaving the team. He's going to be there for sure. So yeah, Kolasinac, huge no. I'm restraining myself. I'm restraining myself.
No, don't. Just go ahead.
About this guy. Just because of the things that he does on the pitch, he just looks like a tank. He runs around. Yes, physical presence, yes, but you need some brains. You cannot just go with physical presence or no. Lacazette, I would agree to a sale of Lacazette if it gets his money, like Ellen said. But I wouldn't go into the season with Eddie as a first striker. That's not something that I would be ready to do. Eddie is still a kid. I feel he doesn't have the same. What do I say? Doesn't have the same. I'm trying to think of the right word. Is it skill, talent, or capabilities? He doesn't have.
Laka is more like a big match player, which Eddie might not be capable at that.
He's not there yet. Eddie is not there. His physical presence is not there yet. He needs to bulk up, and at this stage, I think we'll be throwing him to the wolves if we have him start like every game. So unless we're getting an Vasanth and Adharsh as a replacement, I don't want to sell Lacazette. If you're selling Lacazette, there should be a proper replacement. Otherwise, Lacazette's not leaving. He's staying in this team. I really don't care about the number of goals he scores as long as the players around him are scoring, because his role is invaluable.
Okay. Rohith, do you see any other departures? Like, do you see, say, Nelson or someone else who's like on the periphery, or El Nene to go? Is there any interest for them from anywhere else? And like more on like Chambers leaving. Like, give me like what are the interest around these players?
No, we are talking about the other players. Now there are problems in making the main players leave itself. For example, Arun mentioned that Socrates is almost done, but the problem with that deal was he was going to replace Koulibaly at Napoli. Now City were going to buy Koulibaly, but he has been priced out for more. So it looks like he might be staying, which means we may not be able to offload Socrates, which could be which could affect our transfers a lot, because we need to sell him, we need to ship him out, or already we have a lot of non-homegrown players, and this guy was supposed to be the first one out, but it looks like even that is in jeopardy now. So I don't know about that. Niles is definitely staying because Wolves have signed or going to sign Semedo from Barcelona. So there is no problems about him leaving. Lacazette is definitely staying. I think we are going to give him an extension as well, so that he doesn't go into the final year of contract. So that, and I think that he will have a very good season. Arteta believes in him, and I like Lacazette as a player. Kolasinac is definitely leaving, so he's either going to Leverkusen or back to Schalke. And Chambers, I thought Fulham would be interested, but they are signing a centre back from Sassuolo now, so that is gone. So hopefully Newcastle comes in with an interest. They try to get Holding, but now maybe they will go for Chambers. But the problem with that again is he's injured, so he may not pass the medical, and that I'm not sure if it is possible. But the most important thing is for us to offload the non-homegrown players so that we can get Auoar and Partey in. So right now, all except Kolasinac, Socrates is difficult. Torreira, possibly he that will be an easier transfer as well. So I don't know how we are going to offload Socrates if Napoli don't come in with a bid. I mean, we can. They don't even have to bid. We can release him, and maybe hopefully someone from some other team from Italy comes in for him.
So that's a lot hopeful. Let's also touch upon the transfers of, like, we are almost done with the transfers of Arsenal, but like, let's look at the transfers around other PL clubs, right? Like Chelsea has been really having a great window. Arun, go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off there, but what about the goalkeeper?
We already discussed. We did.
Good. Okay. Sorry.
No, they're signing Mendy now.
No, not us.
That
not
is
us.
almost done.
I mean, not Chelsea. Not Chelsea.
Oh,
us.
okay.
Like, are we going to be getting another goalkeeper?
No, we had the discussion.
We discussed that in length.
Cool,
that was the first point of discussion.
Cool. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So regarding the other teams, as I mentioned, so like others, let me put that up to you. You are seeing other teams strengthening, but like Chelsea has strengthened so much. Spurs are bringing back Bale, and what's the other guy name? Like Reguilon. Yeah. So
Brilliant, yeah.
yeah, so those two guys, like which Bale is coming back? Is he
Both Real
the
Madrid players.
yeah, I know, but like
Others
yeah,
is interested, should
yeah,
be
that,
interested in that.
that's why I'm putting that to
I think
others. Is Bale going to be the
I
old
think
Bale,
it's
or
like
it's the new golf playing Bale?
to be honest, I think it's a golf playing Bale. I mean, okay. To put it this way, it's not that his golf playing hasn't been an issue personally for me, but for me the major issue is like uh, he being injured. Once at the Real Madrid, one of his major issues with the fans wasn't just playing golf. It came on later. It was the way you can think of it as a side effect. Whereas the initial issue was that he used to be injured for huge amounts of time, and as a manager, he gives a chance to someone else, and Bale comes back and he says, "I'm going to be a starter," and otherwise he and his agent go on the media uh, about Real Madrid, and that's what actually caused the fans against him. And then post this, then he starts with the goals, and then he starts with the leaving, not playing, and all this antics. But at Tottenham, as long as he's fit, personally, as long as he's fit, he's one of the top five players in the world. I mean, in terms of his crosses, they are pretty accurate. He's not really, he hasn't been a really goal scoring threat per se. That's also, but in terms of his playmaking, his work rate, or in terms of his crosses, man, those crosses are really good. Like, I think the only one other person who I can think of like really good crosses, accurate and with the perfect weight and all, I think it would be Yames. Uh, but yeah, so and Bale can actually play on either of the wings, so that's a huge thing. And his fitness is the only issue. It's not nothing to do about his actually playing per se. His fitness is if he's fit, he'll add a lot. And uh, this Tottenham, you have Son, and you actually have Son, Kane, and Bale on the wings. And
Mhm.
Reguilon, man, that guy is also a pretty good left back. Uh, I wouldn't, I wouldn't definitely compare him as Tierney, because Tierney is a different player. Tierney is more aware of his defensive responsibilities. You can compare Reguilon more to Marcelo. I would not saying he's there as Marcelo, but he's a more of an attack focused left back. And I can actually see Tottenham being really strong, especially on the counter. Uh, on the counter, man, like you have Bale, you have Reguilon, you have Son, and you have Kane. Uh, that'll be pretty good attack, actually. If they can, again, all belongs to how much of load Bale's legs carry,
Mhm.
literally. eh, Because
Uh,
uh, even in the latest last Wales match, what happened was like he came on for a few minutes and then he was injured. He was taken off at half time. That could be due to lack of match, or it could be just Bale being Bale. Uh,
Just hope that he gets injured a lot more. And
yeah.
Ellen, please add on more.
Just to add a few more things there, like along with the players whom we discussed for Tottenham Hotspur, we also have uh, two more players like Matt Doherty on the right back. Like he is also going to add value for them, as well as Pierre-Emerick Hotspur. Like he is a good defensive midfielder, and like all those right actually makes them strong, which I don't want to say. And
That's
speaking
really
about like
bad news. That's all bad news. Why are you guys like giving out all bad news? Come on, give me something new. Like, give me something good. Like,
yeah,
Bale's gonna be always injured. He's
well
like
that's what
fat like Hazard, whatever. Right?
yeah,
Ellen,
yeah.
we already
Just
have Rohit for the bad news. Please don't join him.
no, no, no. Yeah, yeah. One other
and if
thing,
you want
again, this is
further
also
bad news,
bad news. But people like, say, James Rodriguez, right? Like, when he came back to Ancelotti, you see how he is playing. So, Bale has that bonding with Spurs too. So, let us hope he is injured for a long time. He is now injured definitely for a month. That is the only option, because I expect him to be like James Rodriguez kind of signing this season. I don't expect him to be that bad as he was in Real Madrid. So I don't want him to start, but like that's just my opinion that like he will be like the Bale of old.
Damn, Adarsha, more bad news. Come on, go ahead. Adarsh?
No, I said if you want some good news, just follow United, man.
Oh, yeah.
You like with all the
Yeah, that's a joke of a club.
Really,
Yeah,
like
I mean, they had trophies and they had all these, but right now they're struggling to get players. Like they can't convince players that you can to come to a club.
they have
It's just plain money
they have the
for
best
them.
actor in Bruno Fernandes. He's gonna win the Oscar next time, and you guys will be cheering for him, like for the best.
Now,
Yeah.
I kind of expect United to be busy in the next 2 weeks. They're gonna sign Alex Telles from Porto, who is a very good left back, and which is one of their most important positions to be looking at, because Shaw is not good enough and he's never fit. So they are looking at a very good left back, and I don't know, because of the pressure from the fans, they might even get Sancho, and that will be very bad news. And I agree with Ellen and others that Spurs have a very good window, because they even signed Joe Hart as a third choice goalkeeper. I mean, as a third choice, he's very good. Also, Højbjerg is a position which needed strengthening. Also, Ndombele has made up with Jose. That usually doesn't happen with Mourinho. And they're going to offload Dele Alli. I mean, but the most important thing is they're trying to get Jesse Lingard. I don't know who has advised them to do that. But
Lingardino.
That is the only laughable thing in their transfers. And I think Liverpool have won the transfer window already. Them signing Thiago and Jota, and I think that's about it for the incomings. Now they're going to sell some of the players, but it automatically has made them favorites.
There has been talks about Oxlade-Chamberlain going out from the Liverpool squad, right? Like, where is he heading? Like Wolves? Is he going to Wolves? Is he going to somewhere
The
else?
rumor is that Wolves is going, but what I heard is the report is not very reliable.
Should
But
we sign
it does
him?
look like no, not really. That was actually one of our best deals.
Yeah.
Ox and Iwobi for a combined 80 million, and especially with Ox on his final year of contract. In the Wenger era, we never really did good deals like that, but those two were one of the uh, rarest good deals, transfers in terms of outgoings that we had. So, like I mentioned, Liverpool, Chelsea have got players in all the positions.
Except
they are
defense.
playing Football Manager.
Except defense.
They did get Thiago
but
Silva.
their coach is bad.
They got in
Their coach
Thiago
is bad.
Silva. They got They got in Thiago Silva. They got in Chilwell.
Ben
So they are
Chilwell.
strengthening every position. Yeah. So the team is good, but like Ellen has mentioned, they may not. Lampard may not last the season. So I kind of feel that Chelsea are not up there to challenge City or Liverpool.
But I
They
want
will
him
do so
to
eventually.
But I want him to stay there, like, because if he goes, they're going to get like an elite manager, and with the players they have, someone who's good enough could do something good enough. And
Right.
I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. And I mean, everyone has talked about Chelsea, but like I want to know about like the other teams. Like Everton has done really good deals, and also like Leicester usually they kind of like pull one over everyone else. They make these deals which no one else sees. So because they are our rivals for all sakes. So there's no point in us talking about like Liverpool or Manchester City, because like we are not going to catch them. Like, let's be real, we are not going to catch them. So what are the deals that's happening with like Everton or Leicester or thereabouts, like others, and United maybe, apart from like Jordan Sancho, like which which is like one of those deals like where they will have welcome to United videos all over, like for Thiago, and I hope that's gonna happen. But like, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Moved
So
on.
Everton, I don't think there are no any more incomings. They might try to offload some players. Ancelotti has built a very good team right now, but I think eventually they will drop off. They have had a good start, but eventually they will drop off. Leicester, on the other hand, they're making some intelligent buys. The Castagna was a good buy. They got Sengiz under today, so that is a really good buy. And they tried to sign Fofana from Saint Etienne, who is the kind of player we should be looking at. So they are. I think they have a really good sporting director who's looking at the right players for Leicester. So I will be wary of them. Although they do have Brendan Rodgers, who will somehow fuck it up eventually. So that is not going to be a problem. We just have to focus on ourselves and we'll do well. So and Wolves have really done well as well. So they've signed that new guy Fabio Silva from Porto for a record fee, but they got back that money from the Jota transfer. So they are doing very good business as well. And apart from that, I see Leeds being very good. They did sign Rodrigo for a record fee, and I think they got Helder Costa from Wolves as well. So these are the teams that I see them being good. Apart from Palace as well. Palace, if they sign Ben Rahama, which is rumored, they will have a really good attack. They already are doing well with Zaha, Eze, and once they get Ben Rahama, they will surely be fighting with Leicester and Wolves and the other teams. Sheffield are lagging behind. They will struggle to stay up. They will eventually stay up, but they will struggle a bit.
They won't be
And
like last
Villa
year.
as well. Yeah, Villa have done some good business as well. Grealish has signed a contract extension. Watkins is a very good buy, and Demi Martinez is an excellent buy. So Villa won't struggle like last year.
Damn, that seems to sound like every other team has a better window than us at the moment, unless we sign Partey
So
or
far, yeah.
Auoar. Ellen, let's put you for Manchester United because that's one of the teams that I think like we will be having like who's closer to us. So tell me, what do you think of Manchester United as a team, and also like, do you see any other incomings or outgoings from there?
See, Manchester United, it's very tough to predict. The owners are ready to spend, and they might spend at the last moment with all the other teams signing on. But at the moment, right, I don't see any incomings or outgoings from their team. Like from whatever, like, see, we have got like players like Van Beek joining, but other than that, I don't think anybody see, they were like targeting few players, but those few players have already gone to some other team, or they are going to be retained. So I don't think they have a plan B at the moment. But things can change with like all the other teams are signing. They might feel like they are lagging behind, and they are one team which always be ready to spend cash, and they generally get the cash back because they are a big brand all over the world by the merchandise sales and other things. They get the money back, and that's why they escape this FFP and other stuff. But like at the moment, I don't see any planned signing from them. See, they need backups at many positions. That is for sure. They say, for example, left back, they just depend on Luke Shaw, and like who's always injury prone. Right back, they have only Van Bissaka, and like they need backups at many positions like that. But because their backups are not good, so they have a lot of scope to do some signings. But I don't think they will do that this season.
Okay.
And just to add one thing here, like regarding Leeds, what Rohith said. Last year, right, like Leeds had a really difficult time because their finances was like the owner was ready to put finances, but the FFP doesn't allow the owner to put the finances. So if they had to sign players, right, like they will be losing some points deduction if they spend money or like more than that. So they were like really smart. They did lot of loan deals, and those are the people who helped them to come up now. So their sporting directors and other people, right, they are like really smart and come doing these deals. And now with the Premier League money, they got all those, many of the players like who were part of loan like last year also, they made them as permanent, and like they did some other signings also. So that kind of smart they are.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this has been a really long part, and for some reason when we talked about like other teams, I feel really like low like when we were talking about Partey and or we were like, I was happy. I was like, yeah, maybe we are doing good. And now when I talk about, like, when you guys talk about, say, Chelsea, Spurs, I'm feeling like, oh my God, are we in a crisis, something like that? But like, Arun,
just one more thing. Yeah, amazing. You just came to me, but I just wanted to say something there. I feel the only team that we'll be comparing ourselves with this time would be United, but they'll be getting Sancho in the next couple of weeks. I'm pretty sure about that. Yesterday's result would definitely force them to do something. If they do not get Sancho, they'll get another forward. That's going to happen for sure. They're definitely not going to go in with Greenwood. They've already made a great addition in Van Beek. I wish we got Van Beek. Would have been a great player for us, but they got Van Beek. So if at all there's one team that we can topple from the top four, it is probably United. I wouldn't say it's Chelsea. I would say it's United. Chelsea have never been dependent on managers. It's always the players. So they work somehow. The dynamic works somehow, and they get through. So definitely not Chelsea. I see them going third, but United is the one team that I'm actually worried about because they have something settled. Though the defenders were shit yesterday, when push comes to shove, they always manage to do the shit. They've always, like, be it away to City at the Etihad or be it away to Pool at Anfield, they've always somehow managed to deliver the goods. I don't know how they do that, but they have. So United would be the team that I would be very wary of. Outside of that, Leicester, we spoke about Leicester, Spurs, Everton. Everton would fizz out. Wolves, mini Portugal, again, they might do something, but again, they would fizz out as well. Sheffield is not going to do anything. Leicester, they buy these players, but if you think about it, last season, they made Yuri Tillman's contract permanent. And everybody was raving about it. Everybody was like, oh, Tillmans is the signing of the season. People were even saying that we should be signing them. And we lost out on a good player. And what has happened in the next season? He did almost nothing. I don't think he had any great performances. So when you consider all that, I'm really not worried about Leicester. And Spurs, again, I'm really not worried about them just because of their manager. Just because of the manager. No, the guys passed it. I was watching All or Nothing, and it's reinforced the belief that we really don't have to be worried about Spurs. They'll choke, they'll disintegrate themselves, There's things are not right in that dressing room. So I'm really not worried about Spurs. For me, the only team that we should be wary of is United. We have a chance of toppling them from top four if we do make the right decisions. But apart from that, I'm not really worried about the others.
Okay, that's at least...
One more thing is, for Everton, I read somewhere that they were struggling to offload Iwobi and Walcott now. So that made me laugh out really loud. So it was a great piece of business from us, selling Walcott and Iwobi for about 65 to 80 million. But they're struggling now, so that's fun.
That's really, really good news to hear. And I guess that will conclude today's pod on the transfers. I mean, it's been a long one and it's been a good one. Thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you Adharsh for joining in for the first time. Everyone else is regular, so I wouldn't actually thank them separately. I think. Thank you so much, everyone, and it's been a nice pod. And that is the end of the pod. For more Arsenal-related content, please like, subscribe, and share to the Auoar and Partey podcast. See you next week.